Hi there, it's Rachel Gregg and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video I'm sharing day 13 through to day 20 of my December Daily 2021 journal. I'm using a Dylusions Dyalog insert book. This is the grid one. You can see the grid pattern there on the pages. And I've set it up using some curved pages or, cut up some pages to make them curved and then added some tip-ins. I've created a video to show you how I've done that. And then what I've done is also created a few other videos showing how I've decorated some of the other pages before today's one, which is day 13. So if you'd like to see those videos or you haven't seen those, just check them out on my YouTube channel. I've got a December Daily playlist where you can see all of the videos that I've done for 2021 and also the videos or the December Daily videos that I created for 2020 as well. So what I'm doing on this page here is I'm stamping out a quote and I'm using a Stampin' Up! Stamp set called Letters for You. And these are really large letters. They're not completely solid. They've got kind of like a little bit of a pattern on them. You can see there just up on some of those letters in like the stamped pieces up the top there where it's kind of got like a little, I wouldn't necessarily say newsprint, but it's definitely got little crosshatch kind of feel to it, little texture to it anyway. So it doesn't stamp perfectly solid, which is what I kind of like. It has a little bit of that texture in it, and you can also see where I was stamping the M on the magic. It wasn't stamping completely correct. It's only because I've got lumpy pages underneath, so it wasn't connecting with the page 100%, but I'm not too concerned about that because I like all of the stamping when I do something like this to look like it has been hand stamped. So you can see there's little edges of the stamps and stuff that are coming through, but that doesn't bother me whatsoever. And what I'm doing here, I'm trying to stamp out magic is something, but the G doesn't fit because I've got the little curved page that you see there. So I've just left it without the G for now, but I will go back, or you'll see in the video how I add something to the back of that page so then I can actually stamp the G. So I'm stamping out a quote that says magic is something we make each day, and I'm just using red and green colors, the leaf green, the fern green and the Vermillion Archival ink pads. And that was my day 13 page, even though I didn't write 13. So what I'm doing on this page is I'm actually going to have 13 and 14 and do them together on this page. I just found that quote was a nice way to break up the pages. If you've seen the other videos, you'll see that some of the pages are quite busy. So I wanted to have kind of like a break in the middle of the journal just to give the eyes a bit of a rest. So it's just like a nice big bold quote and then moving back on with some journaling here for this page. So this page here, what I've done is just added in some book pages and just stuck those down with some gel medium. And then I'm using the Watery washes stamp set from Darkroom Door. So this stamp set has quite a few different washes, like watercolor washes that I've created and then turned them into these stamps. So the little green one that I did up the top, that's where I'm going to stamp the date. And then I'm just using these little splatter stamps here, just stamping them in the Wild Honey Distress Oxide ink and then some of that leaf green Archival ink. And this little photo here, it doesn't look like it, but it's actually a photo of a jigsaw that we've recently completed. We do a lot of jigsaws in our house, so I wanted to put this in our little journal because we finished it just before Christmas. And I'm now just using the diary dates stamp set from Darkroom Door to stamp out Monday and Tuesday. So this just shows you that you can actually do a couple of days on the one page, even though I have allocated a day for every double page spread in this journal. Because I did that big quote on that page previous, it didn't allow for any room for journaling. So now I'm going to put day 13 and day 14 on this one page, which works just fine because there wasn't actually that much happening on those 2 days. So it means I could squeeze them in on one page. So to decorate this little tag, so I've got 13 and 14, which is my date, and I've used the sketch numbers stamp set to do the days, and now I'm using the stitched borders stamp set to just add that little zigzag stitch, which is a really cool way to add the look of stitching without actually stitching. So now I'm just adhering this little tag down, and you can see now I have more room so I can stamp my G for that something word. So now I'm just stamping that onto there, and that gives it, it makes it interesting anyway. It just gives it a little bit of an extra tab for that little curved page, and because it overhangs, I can finish off that quote. So I've rummaged through my little Christmas stash of pre-stamped goodies. If you've seen that in some of the other videos, I show how I collect all my extra stamped pieces from previous years, or when I've done other previous Christmas projects, and I have that ready to use for the journal. So I've just pulled out that Christmas tree, and that's from the Stitched Christmas stamp set. And now what I'm doing is stamping out some labels, and this is from the Lots of Labels stamp set, and I just stamped out a couple of circles. Now the circles do fit circle punches, so this particular circle fits a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. So I've just punched that out and then stuck that down on the page. So, and I've done some journaling on those pages, but you'll see them at the end of the video when I do a little flip through. But for now, I'm just moving on to my next page, and I'm stamping out some pine cones, some leaves from the pine cones stamp set. And I'm using Pilled Paint and Forest Moss Distress Oxide ink, and just spritzed it with a little bit of water so that it gives that little watery watercolor stamping look to it. And now what I'm doing is I'm creating a really bold page. So this one here, I'm using the Postbox Red Dylusions paint and completely covering the entire page using that paint. And the best way to do that is just using an ink blending tool, because it's with the foam, because it's nice and flat, and it just blends that paint onto the page really, really easily. And now I'm using a gold metallic marker just to draw a little border here using the Dylusions journal block. So this is the journal block where I used to create these little curved pages, and now I'm using it to create a little border along the curved page, and it makes it like completely correct because it's the same curve as the page. And I've also done it on the straight edge pages as well, and just used the grid pattern to create this little stripy border, and then just colored it in with the gold metallic marker. And what I'm doing now is just creating a little photo flap, like a tip in. And on the front, I've just printed out a image from the latest Spider-Man movie, because that's what we went and saw this on this day. And so I've just printed that out to use, and then added some other Christmas stuff underneath, stamping another date from the label and adding that in. And I add some journaling in again, like on that page, but I'll show that towards the end of the video. For now, moving on to the next page, and this one here, this already had some mesh stenciling, which I did in the previous video, and then now I'm just adding some stenciling using the Starry Night stencil. And then this is just showing you a page that I had done. I didn't film that page because the background was already done in one of the previous videos, but I just added some journaling and some photos that you can see there. And now what I'm doing is just adding some distress ink on this next page here, which will go really well with the colors on the other side. And just adding some pine leaf. This is from the Yuletide Volume 2 stamp set. So just stamping these little pine leaves around just to give it a nice little Christmassy nature look, because this day was all about going for a walk with my nieces. So here's my finished pages for day 13 through to day 20. There's another page there that I hadn't filmed, but it just had photos and text on it, so there wasn't really much to film there. And here's how I finished that page there with some journaling and some photos. I was painting a painting on those days, and so I just photographed that as well. And you can see all the journaling and the titling and the lettering that I've done to complete those pages. So I hope this has given you some ideas on how you can decorate your December daily journal. If you'd like to see the other videos, then feel free to go and check out the December daily playlist on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for watching.